Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. Today I wanted to share with you a book study that we're going to be doing on Charlotte's Web. This book study is from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and I wanted to show you a little bit about what the digital packet that you would download from the website includes. If you don't know me, my name is Jessie. I previously did respite for special needs kids in New York City. I was laid off in March due to the pandemic, and this academic year I am assisting families with virtual learning and homeschool. I'm currently working with two little girls. The first one just turned 4, and the other one will be turning 10 at the end of December. And I have shared videos here not only on our pre-K curriculum, which is mostly the good and the beautiful, but also a little bit about what I'm doing with the older child who has curriculum from her school. I was on Confessions of a Homeschooler looking for additional handwriting for the younger of the two children, and I came across one of her wonderful book studies. She has so many. There are just tons and tons and tons of them. And as far as I can tell from looking through them, they all seem to follow the same format, which is creating a lap book around the main text, in this case, Charlotte's Web. So before I dive into exactly the instructions and everything that are included, let me just show you quickly. Of course, we have Charlotte's Web, and I just got this off of Amazon. Charlotte's Web was one of my favorite movies as a kid, or favorite books as a kid, and I didn't see the movie until I was an adult, but now I also, of course, love the film. I did also find on Thrift Books these two level 2 I Can Read early readers that are based on the Charlotte's Web story. These came out around the same time as the movie, I think. It does look like they are now discontinued. I wasn't able to find them anywhere other than Thrift Books, and some of the ones that are being sold on like Amazon and eBay are crazy amounts of money, but we did not pay very much for these on Thrift Books. And so if you are also looking for some independent reading, I really encourage you to check out Thrift Books and see if they might still have more available. I like to do with the kids a read aloud, and then also assign some of these early readers on the topic or along the same storyline. I've done this with things like The Little Mermaid, where I've assigned a couple of different early readers that tell the story, the Disney version, as well as a take on the original book. And we're doing this as well with Waldock's Wizards and Wands, where I'm reading the Harry Potter text aloud, but I have early readers that are topical throughout each of the chapters, and I assign those for independent reading. So I picked these up as well. And they are, just in case you want to look for them, they are Wilbur Finds a Friend and also Wilbur's Prize. And so Wilbur Finds a Friend talks about when this little guy first comes to the Arable's barn, from the time that Wilbur is born until the time that he is moved to the farm. And then this talks about the county fair and the medal that Wilbur won there. Cute little pig there, as well as Fern is also on the cover. Now, as we move into the Confessions of a Homeschooler, I didn't bother to bind this. It doesn't really need to be bound because you cut and assemble all of these individual pieces. And so there's really no reason to have it bound and then just have to rip those out. I'm just using one of those little like portfolios that are made for turning in like a book report or something like that to hold all of our pages together. And then you will also need a file folder. I just picked up a super cheap pack of these manila folders from the Dollar Tree. You're going to take the file folder, and this is going to become your lap book. So you're going to fold the edges in, and it's going to become a little lap book where you put all of your things that you're creating throughout this unit. So let me show you just really quickly a little bit about this unit. You can see here that it actually comes with what I would consider maybe the teacher's guide or the parent's guide. It has lap book instructions. And so you can see here what I was talking about. You fold that file folder down on the edges, you put your cover here, and then all of the things that you're creating are inside. So you're adding them one by one as you're going throughout the chapters. Now, this does also tell you here, bit by bit, Up here is the materials that you're going to need. And you're going to need, of course, the Charlotte's Web book, the study guide, and one file folder and glue and scissors. You're also going to need, of course, any things for coloring or for writing, any of your arts and crafts or basic like pencils and things like that. It's going to tell you what to do before you read, as well as the timeline, and then it's going to take you chapter by chapter. So chapter 1 here just tells you how to prepare the lap book, how to fold the manila folder and to make it a lap book. It tells you for chapter 2, after you have either had your child read that or you have read that aloud, it tells you how you're going to do that activity. And then it just takes you all the way through. So chapter 3 is the barn diorama. Chapter 4 is the A Few Facts About. Chapter 5 is the All About Wilbur. Chapter 6 takes you through the seasons in which the story is taking place. Chapter 7 and 8 is entitled What Do Pigs Eat? And chapter 9 is Animal Facts. Chapters 10 through 13 has you doing words and a web. And again, it'll give you any additional supplies or materials that you're going to need. So for this, you're going to need white yarn or string and some barbecue skewers. And it says to have your students think of a great word that Charlotte would weave into her web and write it on a piece of paper. And then they're going to use those skewers and that yarn to weave that into a web, just like Charlotte used to write words in her web. It also has you in chapters 14 and 16 making a pet fair brochure. Chapter 17, it gives you a worksheet to complete on what you've learned so far. So a little bit of a review. Chapter 18 has you doing the Charlotte's Questions lap book component, and chapters 19 and 20 have you doing vocabulary. One of the things that's really great about this that I love is chapters 20 and 21 take you through Roman numerals, and it has you create a flip book that you then add to your lap book. And for the final activity, it says that you can watch the movie. So we will be doing that, and then also using a circle diagram to compare and contrast the movie from the book, which is another way to really involve your kids and have them understand about plot and storyline and how things can sometimes differ between books and film. Now, let me show you just a little bit of these activities that I was talking about, because I know that I kind of ran through that quickly. So I'm going to disassemble my report folder here. So this is the main page that you can have your child cover, and then this becomes the cover of your lap book. And then as we start moving through, here are a few of the little things that you assemble. So this is a few facts about, and you can see here that these are separate boxes. So you would cut out each box and then you would assemble them together, kind of like in a stair-step ladder configuration. That's the word that I was looking for. Kind of like in a ladder configuration, and then you can look through all of those bits. We just are going to staple ours, but you can assemble them any way that you think works. Then as we move through, it does also have a timeline. So here's the literary timeline that you can put together. And then as we continue moving forward, this is going to be your story setting. So you fold these into a bit of a, it becomes a square, and then the top flips up and the sides open out, and you can see kind of all of your things that you have put there. This is the All About Wilbur page. And so again, it's the same thing. You cut out the individual boxes. This one goes on top of this one, and this one goes on top of this one, so that you have, again, that kind of ladder configuration. You can flip through those, and that gets attached to your primary lap book. This is a continuation of that story. So as you can see, each one is just a little bit longer than the one before, and this part at the bottom, this text that's printed at the bottom kind of sticks out, so you can reference what you're looking for. Are pigs smart? Why do pigs roll in the mud? Would you want a pig for a pet? I would love to have a pig for a pet. I have always wanted a pig for a pet, and I have always wanted to name him the very corny name of Hamlet. this is the seasons. And so this is just a kind of like a little origami thing again, where you just fold the triangles into the center and then you can flip them up. And this is the What Pigs Eat wheel. So this is actually 2 wheels. You're going to take these, you're going to put them here. You're going to take this and attach it to here. This will spin. This will be cut away, and it will show you the triangles that are underneath as you spin it. It does give you, of course, the instructions for how to do all of this. So the instructions are printed right here on the page, but they are also in that other guide that I showed. This is an animal mini facts book, which this one is just so cute. So the animals of Charlotte's Web. And then again, you assemble it in the same way. It's got spider facts, rat facts, sheep, goose, and pig facts, of course. And this is the pet fair pocket. So this goes with the page also. You kind of fold these bits around, and then there's a blank piece of paper, and you store it in the pocket of your, this becomes a pocket in your lap book that you can store all of your little pet fair bits in. Again, another one of the character studies, a few facts about. Here are Charlotte's questions, and this is just the same as so many of the others, where this is the cover. You assemble these in kind of that stair-step fashion, and they have questions at the bottom that will kind of stick out so you can reference them. So what characteristics can be found in a good friend? Was Templeton a hero or a villain? If you were Charlotte, what would you write about Wilbur in your web? And then it gives a space for the child to write a poem about friendship as well. Here are your vocabulary bits. So again, you're going to create one of those pockets, and then you can stick your vocabulary words in. They are made here where they can be traced. You could laminate these if you wanted to, and then you could use a dry erase marker so that you could do them again and again. And it just has some words from the book. There are a couple of different pages of those. Mine are stuck together at the moment, but here's the other sheet as well. Now this is your Roman numerals mini book. And as you can see here, 1 as it correlates, 2 as it correlates. And again, your child would just cut these out, assemble them, and attach them to their lap book. I believe it goes up to number 10. There are several pages of these. Yes, and it goes up to number 10. So you can do a little bit of learning about Roman numerals as well. It has a space for, this is the book report that you do again at the end. So I think this is just really cute. I think they've covered quite a lot of things here. And I expect it to be really enjoyable for us to do. Now, if you have a child who is an independent reader, they could do this, I'm sure, completely without your help. For a younger child, of course, this is the kind of thing that you can do together. I happen to have the child that I am working with is a 4th grader. She is a great reader, but she's not a confident reader, and reading is not necessarily her favorite thing to do. So I anticipate reading the story aloud with her, a chapter at a time. She does love crafts. She loves art. And so, you know, your kiddo can decorate this in whatever way they want. They can do it very simply and just pencil, or they can go absolutely hog wild and color things in and decorate things. And so this will be the part that she really enjoys. And while I'm reading aloud, or just after I've read aloud, she can be kind of doing these craft projects and these bits and pieces. And I think that she'll really enjoy that. She's definitely more of a hands-on learner. And I'm excited to do this with her. I believe on the website, if you look, that they say that this is geared through 2nd or 3rd grade. So technically it's probably a little bit young for her. She loves animals and she's very tenderhearted. So I wasn't actually sure if she would really enjoy Charlotte's Web. I remember being very traumatized about the farmer wanting to kill Wilbur because he was the runt when I was younger. And so I wanted to sort of wait until I felt like developmentally she was ready to hear that story and for us to have conversations around it. So I think we're there now, and we're going to do it as a read aloud. And, you know, the great thing about unit studies or homeschooling in general is you can really tailor it to the individual child. So I will also probably have her do some little writing projects around this. I'll have her refer back to these mini books that she's creating about facts about pigs, for example, or what do pigs eat, and then write a paragraph using those mini books as her reference point. And I think that will work really nicely for her. So never feel like that you are constrained by a curriculum or that you have to do a curriculum right on the age limit that the person who designed it says. You can always make it work for you. You can always make the changes that you need to make it a little younger or a little older so that it is developmentally appropriate for where you are. I'm really excited about this. Like I said, I loved this book when I was little. I still love this book. And I'm really excited to read this with her and to share this with her, one of my favorite things. So I hope you have found this helpful. I'll put a link to Confessions of a Homeschooler in the down bar below. Like I said, if Charlotte's Web is not your thing, she has tons of them. There's also one for Mr. Popper's Penguins, and I have that book right up there on my wall shelves, and I would like to do that one too at some point in the future. So I just think this is such a cute little idea and the kind of thing that you can really kind of sink into. Lots of hands-on activities, lots of fun, and I'm really excited to do this with her. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this has been helpful. If you were considering doing one of these book studies, maybe now you have a little bit more of an idea of what's involved. And if you had not previously heard of them and it piques your interest, go check them out. I will link them below. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope you have a great week.